So John Stone, my favorite physician poet, no longer with us, sadly died of cancer in 2008. He was a cardiologist and a member of the faculty at Emory University School of Medicine. And in fact, this poem was written as a commencement address for the graduating class at Emory in 1982. Actually, John was a visiting speaker here at NEOMED and at SUMA when I worked at SUMA a number of times, and was actually a good friend of Dr. Jalise Ware's, and I got to know him because of her friendship. The name Gaudeamus Igitur is Latin, and it means therefore, let us rejoice. And it actually comes from a symphony that was written by Brahms with the same title, and that actually is mentioned in the poem. You'll see a reference to Brahms. And that hymn became a long popular commencement hymn in Europe. The poem's form, where each line starts with the word for, is borrowed by Stone from a long poem called Jubilate Agno, a 1,200-line poem that was written by Christopher Smart during his incarceration in a mental asylum with his cat, Jeffrey, who's also mentioned in the poem. You'll see a reference to Jeffrey, his cat, Christopher Smart's cat. He was there from 1759 to 1763, and that's when he actually wrote that long poem, but it wasn't published until many years later, 1939. And while it's 1,200 lines, it kind of goes like this. For I will consider my cat Jeffrey, for he is the servant of the living God, duly and daily serving him. For the first glance of the glory of God in the east he worships in his way. And then he goes, and first he looks upon his forepaws to see if they are clean. For secondly, he kicks up behind to clear away there, and it goes all the way to tenthly, which says for tenthly he goes in quest for food.
For this is the day of joy,
which has been 1,460 days in coming,
and 1,459 nights.
For today in the breathing name of Brahms,
and the cat of Christopher Smart,
through the unbroken line of language,
and all the nouns
stored in the angular gyrus.
Today is a commencing.
For this is the day we know too little,
against the day when you will know too much.
For you will be invincible
and vulnerable
in the same breath,
which is the breath of your patience.
For their breath is our breathing
and our reason.
For the patient will know the answer,
and you will ask him,
ask her.
For the family may know the answer,
or there may be no answer,
and you will know too little again,
or there will be an answer.
You will know too much forever.
For you will look smart and feel ignorant,
and the patient will know which day it is for you,
and you will pretend to be smart out of ignorance.
For you must fear ignorance more than cyanosis.
For whole days will move in the direction of rain.
For you will cry,
and there will be no one to talk to,
or no one but yourself.
For you will be lonely.
For you will be alone.
For there is a difference.
For there is no seriousness like joy.
For there is no joy like seriousness.
For the days will run together in gallops,
and the years go by as fast as the speed of thought,
which is faster than the speed of light.
Or Superman.
Or Superwoman.
For you will not be Superman.
For you will not be Superwoman.
For you will not be Solomon.
But you will be asked the question nevertheless.
For after you learn what to do,
how and when to do it.
The question will be whether.
For there will be addictions,
whiskey, tobacco, and love.
For they will be difficult to cure.
For you yourself will pass the kidney stone of pain and be joyful.
For this is the end of examinations.
For this is the beginning of testing.
For death will give us the final examination.
And everyone will pass.
For the sun is always right on time.
And even that may be reason for a kind of joy.
For there are all kinds of, all degrees of joy.
For love is the highest joy.
For which reason the best hospital is a house of joy.
Even with rooms of pain and loss.
Exits of misunderstanding.
For there is the mortar of faith.
For it helps to believe.
For Mozart can heal.
And no one knows where he is buried. For penicillin can heal.
And the word.
And the knife.
For the placebo will work, and you will think you know why.
For the placebo will have side effects.
And you will know you do not know why.
For none of these may heal.
For joy is nothing if not mysterious.
For your patience will test you for spleen.
And for the four humors.
For they will know the answer.
For they have the disease.
For disease will peer up over the hedge of health.
With only its eyes showing.
For the tea waves will be peaked and you will know why.
For there will be computers.
For there will be hard data.
And they will be hard to understand.
For the trivial will trap you.
And the important escape you.
For the committee will be unable to resolve the question.
For there will be the arts.
And some will call them soft data.
Whereas in fact, they are the hard data
by which our lives are lived.
For everyone comes to the arts too late.
For you can be trained to listen only for the oboe out of the whole orchestra.
For you may need to strain to hear the voice of the patient.
In the thin reed of his crying.
For you will learn to see most acutely.
Out of the corner of your eye.
To hear best with your inner ear.
For there are late signs and early signs.
For the patient's story will come to you.
Like hunger, like thirst.
For you will know the answer.
Like second nature, like first.
For the patient will live.
And you will try to understand.
For you will be amazed.
Or the patient will not live.
And you will try to understand.
For you will be baffled.
For you will try to explain both, either to the family.
For there will be laying on of hands.
And the letting go.
For love is what death would always intend.
For the fever will drop.
The bone remold along its line of force.
The speech return.
The mind remember itself.
For there will be days of joy.
For there will be elevators of elation.
And you will walk triumphantly.
In purest joy.
Along the halls of the hospital.
And say yes to all the dark corners.
Where no one is listening.
For the heart will lead.
For the head will explain.
But the final common pathway is the heart.
Whatever kingdom may come.
For what matters finally
is how the human spirit is spent.
For this is the day of joy.
For this is the moment to rejoice.
For this is the beginning.
Gaudeamus Igitur!
So let us rejoice!
Congratulations, class of 2020.